Hey there, this is Scott Hartis for the second edition of The Closing, and on this episode we'll be talking about exactly what you need to use for marketing to sell your home if you're trying to sell your home in Charlotte, North Carolina. So stay tuned and we'll be right back. So before I get started, just wanted to make sure that you can see me on the camera and also hear me okay. So if you're watching, go ahead and hit the like or love button just to let me know you're watching and that you're able to hear and see me okay. Last week we had a little bit of difficulty, technical difficulty, where I thought I was doing a screen share, and I think we got 3 or 4 minutes into it before I realized that that screen share was not on. So sometimes that's what happens with your first Facebook Live, I'm sure. So I'm hoping this one works a little better for you. Again, today we're going to talk about what exactly you should use for marketing techniques for trying to sell your home here in Charlotte, North Carolina. So I actually have created a page on my website. It's actually a hidden page, but I share it with potential clients when they're thinking about selling, just to kind of give an overview of the various things that I do when I market a property. And so I'm going to go over those things today, and I think you'll probably see a few things that maybe you haven't seen before, so I'm hoping you'll stay tuned for the entire episode. It's not going to be entirely too long, but again, just going to kind of go through my website so you can take a look at what I use to market my properties. So I'm going to go ahead and screen share here so you can take a look at my website. And this is the page that I was just telling you about that I have on my website. And it's designed specifically for you to love selling your home with me. And I'm going to just kind of go through, and I can share this with you if you want to send me a message or just say you're interested in the comments section, and I can actually email this over to you, can email you a link. So as I scroll down, I've got kind of a synopsis here, and one of the most important things I think you can have in your property is staging. And I actually have the accredited staging professional designation, and why that's important is I've actually done a class and also taken an extensive exam on what it takes to stage a property, whether it's vacant or even if you've got a home, that is not vacant and you've got furniture and maybe you need to move some furniture around. Quite often when I meet with my sellers for the first time, we do make some suggestions, and then when I come back with the photographer, we may or may not move some more furniture at that point. So anyhow, it's important to really go all out with your staging. That can be as simple as moving things around and not even having to supplement what's in your house, your condo, when it comes time to sell with other furniture or things like that. So you can see here in the middle of the screen where it says some of the benefits of staging are faster sales time, best sales price, professional image. Stage homes definitely look better in print and internet advertising. It can attract a broader range of buyers. Buyers do view staged homes as well cared for properties. And again, you can kind of read through this if you'd like for me to send you a link. So just make sure you put in the comments section that you'd like for me to do that, and I can email it over to you or send it to you as a private message on Facebook. Another thing that we do is aerial video and twilight photography. So as you can see from this picture, we've got an aerial photo of the Pink Building, also known as the Arlington, uptown, and just beneath that, I've got one of the Cherry neighborhood and some new construction homes in Cherry. So all of these are aerial photos, which give you a different perspective than what the professional photographer that I use can use. He does do some elevated pole photography, which is where he puts the camera on top of the tripod or a monopod and puts it up in the air, but this is obviously giving you an even taller perspective that you wouldn't normally see, and usually will grab a buyer prospect's attention, which is why I think it's become so popular now. The next section here is Twilight Photos, and if you're unfamiliar with this is where we actually have photos that are taken either at twilight or so either sunrise or sunset, and there's a period of time called the golden hour where photographers like to take pictures, and it kind of gives the glow of the sun in the background, and sometimes it can even be the glow of the sun on your house. So you can see the difference between a picture on the left taken during the day, great blue skies, as opposed to twilight on the right there in both of those examples. Beneath that, another thing that we do is floor plan and measurements. I think this is important. Not everyone is able to look at a floor plan and determine exactly what they're looking at. So I think it's good for those buyers that are actually able to look at a floor plan and distinguish between rooms and just kind of a layout and kind of picture it in their mind. And this is also a good thing so we can verify exactly what the square footage is. I've found, quite often the tax records will show one square footage, and when we actually have it measured, it comes up to be a different square footage. But we use a professional measurer, and that measurement process, they actually go by standards that appraisers use. And so if you end up selling your property to a buyer that is getting a mortgage, they will have an appraisal done, and the appraiser will verify the square footage that we advertise. So that's another reason why this is important. I use everything that I'm showing you here on a property website for you, and I'll show you an example of what that is, but we do put the floor plan on that property website. So another example of marketing that we use is property video. We've actually been using property video for years, and I think it's important because it can highlight professional photos of the property and video, but it also gives people a sense of the neighborhood if they're not familiar with the neighborhood. So I'm going to attempt to play this video, and we'll see if it will actually work on Facebook for you or not. Okay, so you can get a sense just from that bit that I've played. The rest of it is actually photos of the property that were professionally taken by a photographer. So this one was an interesting condo. The seller was actually a Kiss fan, so he had quite a bit of Kiss paraphernalia in the house. So anyhow, I just wanted to show you an example of that video marketing that we do, where we mix a combination of just highlights for the neighborhood that it's in, along with photos and video of the actual property. Next section on this is luxury marketing, and just to kind of check in, we've got probably, 4 or 5 other things here, so not too much longer. So if you are watching this, go ahead and hit the like. Let me know that you're finding this interesting, and I'll keep on showing you what we've got here. So luxury marketing, this is really just a quick section to promote the Institute for Luxury Home Marketing. This is some specialized training that I took that you have to actually, to qualify for it, you have to sell a certain volume and price range of home to have them be able to give you the training and be a member. So as you'll see in the little synopsis here, I find it important because not only am I using marketing at 50,000, it's going to be a little bit different, I would say, than what I might market at $1 million. But it's nice to have that training with the $1 million marketing because I can bring that to the $50,000 listing. So while I may spend a little less on the $50,000 listing, just depending on what I'm doing for marketing, it is important that I've got that knowledge to be able to pull in some higher end marketing knowledge. So brochures. So I've got an example. This is actually an older brochure of a property that I sold, and it's in Dilworth. And now I've been using more hard brochures where this is a hardcover and then it's got information with the floor plan and disclosures and photos on the inside. But I've got another one that I've been using that is more just photos, and then I've got a link to the website, URL on the brochure where someone can go and visit the website to get all the information from there. Okay, Facebook marketing. This is actually a big thing now. I have been doing this, probably now for a couple years, but really have started doing it even more and spending more money on it more recently. So this is an example of an ad that I ran, just listed promotion, and usually I'll have, as you'll see, a title on it, something to kind of catch prospective buyers' attention, and then a link to the actual property page, and then some features, and then I'll add some photos here to kind of get someone's attention, but then if they click on the link, they'll be able to see more about the actual property. As you can see, I've got a Twilight shot here at the front, at the top, and all these are professional photos, so it really makes a difference at Facebook advertising because it really makes the marketing pop. All right. We're about done here. This is actually something that's been around for a while, but I don't think a lot of agents take advantage of it. It's called reverse prospecting. And the premise of this is if you are a buyer looking for a property and you have an agent that's working with you, they can set up an alert in a specific price range and neighborhood, and anytime a property becomes available, you can get an alert for it. So this reverse prospecting allows me as a listing agent to identify agents that might have a client in the price range and neighborhood that my new listing is in, and within a couple days, hopefully they've received those alerts, the actual prospect or the client, and from there they will have hopefully liked my property, and then I get a notification that they liked it. So I can send out an email, and I've got a couple examples here of emails that I've sent. This is actually a listing that I just listed, and you can see the email that I sent out to, I think this one went to about 11 or 12 different agents. And basically it's just an email saying, hey, your client really liked this property when they got the alert. I'd love to have you show it to them, or if you're too busy, I'll show it to them. So it's a way to make sure that they saw that their client liked it and at least no stone unturned. So that's one example of it. And here's another example, very similar email. Usually I'll try and highlight the best features of a property for that realtor, and again, just invite them to show it to their client, and if they're too busy, then I'll show it for them. All right, and then this is the very last slide, I think. Yeah, so virtual staging. This is important for those clients of mine that either have a vacant property that they're trying to sell, or they are they might have a room or two that they don't have furniture in a house that they live in. You can see it's kind of a neat thing. So you've got If you look at this room, this is actually the initial picture, where the original picture where we took the photo, and you really just can't tell what this room is. So when we add virtual staging to it, I actually have an editor that does this. I can tell them kind of the style of furniture. They'll add, a coffee table, sofas, artwork, whatever you'd like. You can see another one. This is actually the same property, and there's an office in this this townhome, and I had them add a desk for me and some artwork. You also see they added some accoutrements on the built-in shelving as well to kind of highlight that. I think it probably would have just blended in had they not added that. And then this was the master bedroom in this property. So you can see it really kind of helps give a better feel for exactly what you're looking at, rather than just a picture of a room that has nothing in it. So let's see. Okay, so I think that takes care of showing you the marketing, and just wanted to check back in if you enjoyed seeing some of the marketing that you must have to get your property sold here in Charlotte. I'd love for you to hit the like. If you're interested in getting a link to that page so you can kind of go through it, even if I'm not representing you, it might be a good idea for you to talk to your prospective agent about it, so you'll know what they're going to be using to market your property successfully. So appreciate you tuning in to the second episode of The Closing, and love to see you here next week, and we'll talk to you soon.